They tryna tell me that I'm good without you. Just stay with the things that make you feel good.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Spot Real Talk. My name is Tiara.
I'm Tiffany.
Hey, and I'm Ron.
And LaWanda is out tonight, but she will definitely be back to join us next week. But in the meantime, we are going to discuss Queen Sugar, Season 5, Episode 5. And if you hang tight, we'll be right back with you.
Busy and where the last one burnt you, know that ain't cool. Wanna show you how I'm nothing like him. Swear that's the truth. You can't trust that
Okay, so we're back, and like I said, we're talking Queen Sugar. This is Season 5, Episode 5. This one was titled May 19th, 2020. And that's the big day for Darla and Ralph Angel. This episode was all about them.
I have to say, it's a very special day. That happens to be my birthday.
Oh, okay.
And it's interesting they chose that day to get married too, because that's also the same day that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle got married too.
Okay, so now you share something in common with the show. It was a really feel-good episode. I think we needed
I thought so.
Yeah, it was. I'm glad that they have accepted Darla, as a sister, a part of the family. I think they did right by her with this 12-hour wedding, preparation. Who does that? Who does that? But it did turn out very well. And, hey, my boy Hollywood made it when we didn't think he would. And, and it was a good feel-good show.
It was a beautiful episode. And in the way they did the wedding, appropriately socially distanced, and then Mama was, via Zoom and everything. It was really well done. And Darla looked beautiful, and so did Ralph Angel. He looked beautiful in that white. I was live tweeting the show, and a lot of ladies agreed with me.
Yes, definitely. I think the officiant could have, put on something more appropriate for the wedding, but I guess you got to take what you can when it's a 12-hour wedding.
Right. Yeah, and COVID too. So, hey,
right.
What can we say?
Yeah, but they definitely pulled it off nicely. Everything was, the decorations, the decor, everything looked beautiful. Ralph Angel even made the little trellis design for the wedding. So that was a nice personal touch to add in. It was just beautiful all the way around. And I think one of the highlights for me was how they tried to, even though it was a rushed wedding, they tried to make it feel, have some of the traditional elements for the ladies, the bridal / bachelorette. Although they couldn't go to Vegas like Charlie was suggesting, they did still try to, include that so that at least Darla can say she got to have some fellowship with the ladies beforehand, even if it was only for a little while and through Zoom. I thought that was a nice touch.
That was really cool. I've been to some virtual brunches and getaways and stuff, so it's real cool.
Yeah, I thought that was very cute. And then, like you said, Ron, even with Hollywood making it a point to be there, because he was really going through it still, with the loss of his mom, and even after scattering her ashes on the lake, I know he was probably still very emotional. But he's very close with Ralph Angel, and I don't think that's something that he would miss even through his grief.
Yeah, death is something that we all will go through physically and mentally. But, what I know and what I do is you're never dead if I think about you every day. There's always a moment I'm thinking about my parents and, people I love. So, that's what keeps us alive. And I think, Hollywood kind of, said something to that effect, about living, because as we live, we keep in memory our loved ones. So she may not be with you, physically, but she's there in spirit.
Yeah.
I was glad he made it back too, because in that moment he didn't need to be alone.
Right.
And so, with him coming back in time, and that was a joyous occasion. And then he was there with Vi, who, his better half and everything.
Yep.
So I think he made the right decision to go to that wedding. He definitely keep his mind occupied and be around loved ones.
So what do you think about Calvin asking Nova, if he thought they should get married, if she thought they should get married? What do you think about that?
I was like, oh, he's all in. That's what when I heard that, I was like, okay, he brought it up. She didn't. And I just thought about Nova, because Nova seemed receptive. She seemed receptive and everything. But I know Nova gets in her own way when it comes. So I was just like, will they make it down the aisle?
Yeah. The only thing I was thinking is, you better not propose at this wedding. I think it is so tacky when people propose at somebody else's wedding.
It is.
So I'm glad he didn't.
Well,
not unless you have permission beforehand to do so.
Right.
Bring that up at the wedding out the blue.
And if you do, keep it to yourself. Don't go out and announce, hey, we're getting married too. No, don't do that.
Yeah.
But I was a little hesitant with Nova, because she seemed to, when he said it, and I know she was probably more shocked the fact that he even mentioned it. But she her eyes got big for a moment, and she didn't quite say anything. But when she did say something, it was quite relevant. And I think she said something to the effect, "Let's talk about it some more later," or something.
Yeah. And she said, let's work on it together. Like, she seemed very receptive.
Yeah.
She seemed receptive. So I was like, something about weddings, it can put people, in a mood, like, And but the only thing I thought about was Charlie, because everybody was kind of booed up and Charlie was by herself.
Yep.
Except Micah, Micah was taking pictures and stuff, but everybody else was pretty much kind of coupled up. So I did, feel for Charlie in that moment, even though she still looked happy. She looked genuinely happy for Ralph, Angel, and Darla.
Yeah, she looked good in that yellow too, I must say.
I was gonna say that. The yellow was the color. Everybody looked beautiful in that yellow.
I love seeing brown skin and yellow.
I do too.
It's a very nice compliment. Yes.
And that's the color of the season. That's one of the trends for this year.
Yes. And I thought that it was interesting. One person that I didn't see at the wedding was Prosper. Speaking of people that shouldn't be alone, I know he's still, scared about coming out and being around people, but it was properly distanced and everybody had their masks, and it seemed like it was out, it's for the most part outdoors. So I was wondering, maybe if Prosper should have been there to, just like Hollywood shouldn't be alone, Prosper is somebody else who probably don't need to be at home, getting in his own head.
Maybe they had him hooked up to the internet to watch it via Zoom, like Darla's mom.
Well, I don't think so.
I don't know.
People struggle with technology.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But it was nice that they pulled Darla's mom in. I know her and her mom have had their spats in the past, but the fact that it was so last minute and her parents couldn't be there in person, I guess Zoom was the next best thing. But if I was a bride on the wedding day, I would assume that you would physically, want your parents there. So I know that that's something that she probably will still think about.
Yeah, I guess probably with flights canceled at around that time, she wouldn't have been able to come if she wanted to. Because, a lot of airlines were
things got grounded.
Yeah. And listen, mom was still tripping. I mean, she was happy for Darla, but you see, she was already trying to regulate and talking about sending Blue to DC to go to school with the bum kids and stuff. I'm like, how you making plans for Blue and you haven't discussed nothing with Darla? That's Darla and Ralph Angel's decision. And I was like, if she don't stay in her lane, that's gonna be an issue.
It is, yeah.
It's funny because I was saying, where's the conflict? And then after that, I said, okay, here's the conflict. We got some coming.
I looked at the clock. It was like the last 10 minutes. And I was like, here we go. Here's the conflict right here, mama.
Yeah. So maybe it was a good thing that mom wasn't physically there.
Yeah. Yeah. Because, I mean, it made me think about, too, with her doing that and pushing her ideals on everybody. I mean, that's part of the reason why Darla had the addiction issues.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
With the parents.
Yeah, I agree. Mom did not need to be there. Zoom is where she belongs. You see how Vi shut the laptop on her?
She shut it down. She's like, okay, bye. I was like, I heard that on Vi.
Yeah.
You know, getting back.
Oh, go ahead, Ron.
I'm sorry, but getting back to a point about Prosper, because he was kind of shacking up with or staying with Vi and for a minute. So if you know, it is a good question as to why he would not have been there. You know, because he's not sick. And as you said, they had
may not have felt comfortable being around all them people. Like, I mean,
I wish
especially after hearing Hollywood's mom passed, and she's up in age, and so I just think he just got into his own head, and he probably didn't want to stay out his welcome too. So he was probably like, you know what, I'm gonna just head home and quarantine. Y'all have a good time. Save me a piece of cake.
Yeah, but I would have loved to have seen him there. You know, have a good time because he needs it. He really does.
Yeah, this episode just felt really good. I love how all of the other family members had a role in it, from Micah being the best man, Charlie being the maid of honor, and then they had Nova playing the music during the reception, Vi made the cake, Blue was the ring bearer. So it was just everybody had a role. And even Nova, the note that she gave Darla beforehand, from his mom, that was a very nice touch.
It was,
because Darla was having some doubts about like her worthiness. She just felt like, you know, Ralph Angel had really stuck with her through all of her mishaps, and she was kind of feeling unworthy of him. And Charlie reassured her, but that note was kind of like the icing on top of the cake. Like, y'all were, you know, you are going to be somebody that loves my son like I loved my husband. And so she kind of felt reassured by his mom's note, and you could see the confidence in her face after that.
And that's what I'm sorry. That's what I loved about Charlie though at that moment. I mean, she really stepped up at that point to bring the note and then to reassure, you know, Darla, to reassure Darla that, you know, he loves you and you love him. And, you know, this is where things are supposed to be. And so that was one of my favorite moments, to see Charlie actually, you know, soften up and able to really talk to Darla, because they've had some conflicts, you know, in the past. So that was one of my favorite moments.
And she gave her something old, because remember they talked about the 4 things, something old, something new, blue, borrowed, and the note from the mom was something old.
Yeah, I really did enjoy that little touch, just a boost right before walking down the aisle. I guess the other part of the episode for me was the music selection. From Tony Terry, When I'm With You. That is my jam.
Too. I love that song. Indeed. And there ain't no party without Frankie.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, you know.
In the episode, Before I Let Go. And I'm like, that's got to be the Black national anthem.
And you know what?
At every occasion.
You know what? I think no function without it.
No, I think you called it. I think you literally, you know, you just called it, because Frankie is that song is the Black national anthem. No matter where you go, you know, that that's played everywhere at all times. No matter where you go, no matter what the age, you're going to hear Frankie Beverly.
And Calvin must have been feeling it in his bones too.
Look, I had to give Calvin some credit, you know, because when he was up on Nova, that little Smooth movie made, they only showed about 2 or 3 seconds. If you missed it, go back, watch it. I'm like, that white boy can dance.
You know, Calvin like the sisters, and he is from the South.
And he's from the South.
Right.
I'm like, I need to go back, played it back just a little bit, see it again. I'm like, oh, Calvin. Come on.
One of the things that I also liked about the wedding, their vows were beautiful too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I watched another wedding over the weekend, the housewives, the housewives of wedding, and Cynthia Mike's vows, and they were just okay. Like their vows was like beautiful wedding, but vows was like nothing to write home about. And then I listened to Ralph Angels and Darla's. I was like, man, I'm about to shed some tears up in here.
It's funny, you know, when you love somebody, it's, you know, love isn't just a word you throw around. I mean, you when you go through things with your mate, you've been through some things and you've gone through a struggle. That's when you know that's true love. You know, and I can't see, with exception of death, I can't see that marriage, you know, going astray, because they've been through some things. And those vows were sacred to them, and it touched everything, every aspect of their relationship. So, you know, and I just love to see Raw, you know, step up and be the man he is now, you know, because I had some doubts earlier on.
Yeah, Ralph Angel has evolved.
Yeah.
Big time. I have a prediction. My prediction is that Darla's gonna have a baby. I think she's gonna get pregnant.
Oh, they're gonna have a quarantine baby.
It's funny you said that, because I was just saying to myself, you know, Blue needs a brother.
Yeah, they were talking about how he's already 9 going on 10.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's what I said.
It's too spaced out.
Right. Exactly.
I think because you think about, you know, during COVID, you know, weddings, death, you know, Hollywood's mom and stuff. And then, you know, we see that the George Floyd thing is gonna
come up,
play out. So the pain and rage and stuff. So the wedding is joy and everything, and a new baby would be even more joy. I was live tweeting the show, and someone wrote this tweet, and I was like, this is perfect. I'm going to save this to read on the show. Somebody tweeted and said, Queen Sugar is joy, pain, sunshine, and rain, but most of all, love. And I was like, that tweet was so perfect to describe the show. So I was like, I'm going to save that.
Yeah.
That's good.
It definitely take you through all the feels.
That's good.
Yeah, so this was one feel-good episode, but it seems like next week, like you said, the George Floyd situation is going to come up. I wonder even if they're going to touch on the Ahmaud Arbery or the Breonna Taylor situation.
I think all that stuff was around the same, time. You know, Breonna's.
It was all back to back to back.
Back to back. So I can see it, you know, all of that probably being brought up.
Yeah, and
go ahead.
I was gonna say I was thinking about Micah too, because he's the youth, and even Blue, how they were trying to explain to him what was going on, but specifically Micah, because he's in that transformational period in his life where he's transitioning into manhood, and so to see, you know, how Black men are treated, you know, he's already experienced it. But to witness it on that level, you know, where somebody is dying from it, I wonder how he's going to respond to this this whole situation.
I think he's going to be traumatized, because when I saw some previews, it looked like I saw previews with Ralph Angel being tearful. It looked like Micah was emotional. Yeah, so I think that's going to be traumatized.
But we also saw a gun that I don't know if Micah had the gun.
Let's hope not.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to know where that gun come from, and I'm not sure if it was Nova. That you know, it was so quick. The clip was so quick, but we do see a gun involved, and then they showed Micah. So I have to make the assumption that was, or he managed to get a gun somehow. So that's going to be. It was just during the protest, and that's when they showed that clip. It's real quick, but that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, and this whole situation is going to test Nova and Calvin too, with him in the scenario. So I'm very interested to see how that plays out in their household with his daughter and everything. That's going to be
crazy. Blue Lives Matter versus Black Lives Matter.
I don't think Calvin.
No wedding yet.
Yeah, I think from what I see now with Calvin and what we know about the George Floyd incident, I can't see him backing police. If he does that.
I don't think he would necessarily back police. I think he would be one of those, there's a few bad apples types, you know, saying that everybody's not like that. I certainly wasn't like that, but maybe not empathizing enough for Nova's liking.
Yeah, because you saw the preview when she was questioning him. She was, and I was like, oh boy, you know.
That's a hot
this
spot.
Is getting ready to be, this is going to be,
that's a hot
This is going to be a
spot.
challenge for them.
Yeah, because I mean, you know, and I hate that phrase, a few bad apples. Well, you know what? A few bad apples can spoil the whole bunch. You know, if you're not responsible for removing those bad apples, then who are you?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a conflicting question, because going up against the blue versus, I mean, defending what you know is right. Sometimes it doesn't always work out that way, because you have that whole army of your colleagues up against you sometimes. So it's definitely a tough spot to be in. But I want to see how they handle that, because that's under the same household. So I know that's gonna get crazy.
That's why I said don't look towards no wedding bells just yet, because they have to get past that.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. Well, you guys have anything to add before we close out?
No, I think as far as what might happen next week, I'm going with Tiffany's comment about the disruption in the Nova Calvin household. I think that's going to really tell us about their relationship, because if they can get over that, then they're good. But I predict that that's going to be a sticking point for Nova.
Okay. It even looks like Ralph Angel and Darla might have encountered some racism.
Yes.
You know, they were off on their honeymoon, I'm guessing. It looked like they came up against somebody that was causing problems for them. So it's going to be a time for them to deal with that, on top of everything going on in the media around that time.
Yep, because they still in the South. And then, not to mention, Ralph Angel has a record. So, you know, once you get in the system, you know, sometimes you're targeted too.
Yeah. Okay, well, I enjoyed our discussion this week. I hope all of our viewers enjoyed it as well. Thank you guys so much. Please make sure that you like this video. Also, click subscribe and click the notification bell so that you can be alerted whenever we post a video. Drop down in the comments and let us know what you thought about this episode and what you're looking forward to for next week. And LaWanda will be back with us next week as well, so we look forward to having her back. You guys don't have any closing remarks?
I'm good.
All right, I think we'll call it a night. Thank you guys again. Night.
Good night. Good night.
Go ahead, go.